tonight. We wanna go, go. We wanna go, go. We're driving cars on a Mars tonight. We're blasting off to the stars tonight.
Happy New Year from Nashville, Tennessee. Today is January 1st, 2022. My hope for you in this new year is to be successful in all of your adventure, to accomplish whatever it is that you set your mind to, and to accomplish all of your New Year resolutions. We're currently in Music City, USA. My family took us up here for a last minute getaway. Since Katelyn was born, we weren't gonna go anywhere this year because we didn't know when Katelyn was coming. But since she was born, my mom decided to take us up here for a couple of days. If you don't know much about Nashville, Tennessee, it is where Taylor Swift, it is where Jason Aldean lives, and if you have no clue about country music, just don't worry about it. I wasn't gonna make a video on this trip. I plan not to make a video on this trip because I kind of just want to enjoy the trip and not have to worry about scripting a video, making a video. However, my family is out and about, and Margaret and I are here with a baby by ourselves. And since we had a few minutes, I just want to make a quick video. Well, I was gonna shoot this video without Margaret, but you see how that's going.
Sorry, honey. You're stuck with me. Whee! Okay.
So one of the things that I really learned on this trip, and Margaret could probably attest to it, and it's a good thing that she's here, is the fact that traveling with a young 1-month-old baby is not easy. And one of the things that I really learned was what we had to take with us. So in the past, when we travel by ourselves, Margaret seems to overpack anyway. And on this trip with a baby, she did not have a chance to do that. I don't know if you guys remember the video where we went to the beach, where Margaret really overpacked the whole car and I had one suitcase. Well, with a baby, she didn't have a chance to do that because I got a small suitcase. Margaret wasn't gonna have a suitcase, and then turned out she got a big suitcase. All right, we had to change it up because the light was covering Margaret's face and I didn't like it.
And it says music City in the background, and it's cool.
So anyway, we were talking about traveling with a baby. So one of the things that we learned on this trip was that traveling with a baby is a lot different. Margaret does not have the opportunity to overpack like she usually does, especially since traveling with the baby requires us to carry a lot more stuff for the baby. So some of the stuff that we had to carry with us this go around was the pack and play, the milk pump, the sterilizer for the bottle and the milk pump, the extra clothes, diapers, wipes, and stroller, and an extra car seat.
The extra car seat goes with the stroller because ours doesn't leave the car.
That's right. So we'll do another video another day, hopefully in the near future, to talk about car seats. And if you're interested in that, leave a comment down below. But Margaret and I went back and forth for a little bit to talk about what kind of car seat we want and why we want a certain kind of car seat. So it's really interesting because there are a lot of car seats out there if you didn't know. The other thing that I learned going on this trip was the time that it takes to travel with a baby. See, in the past, when Margaret and I are ready to go, I just say, Margaret, hurry up, you're late. Margaret.
What about if you're the one who's late?
Hurry up, you're late. And then we walk out the door, being late. But this time with a baby, it's a lot different. Traveling with a baby really gives us a whole new perspective on scheduling and timeline.
Naturally, because when you have to plan everything around when she's going to eat, or if she just ate. So right now, most of the time I'm feeding her, but sometimes depending on what we're doing, you have to pack a bottle. If she's gonna take a bottle, that means I need to take my pump. So lots of different things go into planning that, thinking through that. Now our little miss likes to take her time while eating, She is not a fast eater. So we really have to plan in a good half hour plus before, after, or during, you know, whatever we're doing, so that I can feed her. I know some babies are like in and out, 10 minutes, 15 minutes and done. Katelyn doesn't do that. She likes to take her time.
So yesterday we took a bus tour around the city of Nashville, and the bus was supposed to leave at 11. So we had to plan 30 minutes beforehand to get there, to give Margaret's time to pump and give the baby time to eat. Then we get on the bus. And then the amazing thing though is, as soon as she's eaten, the clock starts again. So then 2 to 3 hours later, we know it's time. So we have to try and do whatever we're gonna do in those 2 or 3 hours. So that is something new that I had to learn, and I guess Margaret already knew it, or we had to learn that, hey, you know, the moment she eats, the clock's ticking. And related to that, the other thing that we kind of learned on this trip for us is not only do we have to schedule certain things out, sometimes we elect not to do certain things because of the baby. For example, right now, we're at home with the baby, making a video that is not planned, and it's just because I had some time on my hand, but our family's out. We have a family friend who came in to see us, and so our family's out bowling and playing at the arcade, and we're here. Part of the reason is the baby's asleep, so we didn't want to take her to the arcade.
And that place is literally crawling with germs. I mean, bowling balls, you know, when you pick it up in your hand and you can feel the grease from everybody's pizza that's probably been building up for the last, 5 months.
Yeah.
I just can't. And the noise. And not only the noise at the bowling alley, we were trying to walk yesterday to find lunch. Y'all, the Music City on New Year's Eve is not the place to walk around with a baby. That music was so loud, and they blare it off of every building as we were walking down Broadway Street trying to find something to eat. And I was covering my poor little baby's ears, and after about 5 minutes, we learned real quick we could not stay on Broadway. So we had to get off and go down a quiet side street, because it was, was it crazy loud for adults? No.
Yes.
Was it? Well, yes, but
it was loud enough that my ears started hurting. So I told my family, I said, hey, you guys go on and do whatever you want to do. We're going to go somewhere else and get lunch. But they elected to go with us. But that's an example of when we elect to not do something with our family because the baby's there. And right now, we elect not to go bowling because the baby's here. And she's asleep, and it just seems a little cruel and not fair to the baby to drag her out there to an arcade, a bowling alley with the loud music, loud people while she's trying to sleep.
And I wanted to go to bed early.
Yeah, but that's Margaret. We don't care about that today.
Oh, John, that's mean. Apologize.
So we kind of learn when to do and not do certain things because the baby's here. And lastly, not to make this video very long, lastly, one thing I really learned on this trip that I didn't ever consider before is taking car trips. For us adults, when we go, we would stop every 4 or 5 hours to either take a stretch break, use a bathroom, or refuel, and then we get back on the road. To travel to a baby, this last time, there were a lot more breaks.
Well, yes, and it's not only the time frame that we had to stop, we tried to let her go every 3 hours, but by the time you get back on the road, it's really close to 2 hours before you have to stop again once you include feeding, burping, and bathroom break for me and the baby.
And that's when the whole clock thing starts over. So the moment she's eaten, her 2 to 3 hours starts again. And I really can't be driving while the baby's out of her car seat because that's not safe. So then I would have to find somewhere nice to pull over for Margaret to feed the baby, either by nursing or by a bottle, and she's got a pump. And so there's a lot of variables now come into play. Where do we stop? How long do we stop? And all that. So used to, when we would travel, I don't know about traveling with Margaret's family because we haven't done that a lot, but traveling with my family, when we go on the road, we would, even if we go in separate cars, we would ride together and we eat together, because to me, that's part of the family road trip too. But this past time, it was a strange experience for me, and I don't know that I like it as much. And lastly, I also learned that the baby does not like to be in the car seat for very long. She is an excellent car rider.
Oh yeah, for
She
sure. Compared
enjoys
to a lot of babies.
Yeah, she enjoys riding in the car, in her car seat. But then this past time, after we stopped and we got back on the road, it was about 3 hours to get here. For the last 15 to 20 miles, she started getting frustrated and irritated with us because I guess we've been on the road for too long. So she didn't like that.
Bless her little heart. She was literally beet red, screaming. Now, in all honesty, I think she was probably just mad. She didn't need anything. She wasn't hungry. She had a dry diaper. She was just mad, but you know, it's still pitiful.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we learned this year about traveling with a newborn, 1-month-old newborn. But it's been fun. We have really enjoyed having her with us. Although she started to set all our schedules for us, and she makes sure we know when we need to go to bed and when we need to wake up. Anyways, that's it for this New Year video. I hope you guys had a great Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And I don't know how you rung in the new year, but we rung it in, well, we were asleep.
We rung it in with New York. I was up.
Yeah, we were up at 11. We
Yeah.
didn't watch the ball drop.
No.
We're lame.
Yeah. So,
We always would have watched it drop before.
that's right. Every year up to now, we watched the ball drop in New York. And there was one year we were in New York when the ball dropped. And this year we were in bed when the ball dropped. So that's live with a newborn. Well, Happy New Year and
Happy New Year.
bye.